Hey there everybody, Sage Popham here, founder of the School of Evolutionary Herbalism. And in this week's episode, I'm going to be talking a little bit about the difference in dosage of herbal medicine. This is a question I get a lot, and specifically got a question recently around really what drop dosing is and what some of the main differences are between, what happens when you take an herbal medicine in 1 to 3 drop doses versus, maybe a 5 milliliter dose. And what we really see here is a couple different schools of thought and approaches to practicing herbalism. And so this week's post, I'm talking about some of those differences and sharing, I think, what to me are some of the benefits and some of the downsides of both approaches, and why neither one is necessarily wrong, better, or worse, just different in their approach. So I hope you enjoy my discussion this week on herbal dosage. From, I hope I'm saying it right, Lael is asking, what does drop dosage mean? Yeah, great question. So drop dosage means essentially what it says. It's a term used to indicate very low doses of medicinal plants, specifically in tincture form. Usually when someone is saying a drop dosage, they're usually talking about tinctures. Sometimes they'll be talking about flower essences. But drop dosage, usually we're talking about 1 to 3 drops as a dose, as compared to what I would consider like a moderately sized dose being maybe 15 to 30 drops. And then moving up into higher doses, which I would say is between 2 to 5 milliliters, which, in a standard tincture bottle, when you squeeze the eyedropper and suck up as much tincture as you can get, usually like that squirt amount is about 30 drops, so, or a mil. And so, to me, a high dose is usually like 2 squirts up to 5 squirts or 5 mils per dose. And, this question really digs into different approaches to practicing herbalism, right? You've got low dose school, you've got high dose school, and you've got people in between. You've got people that do both. I tend to do both. It really depends on the plant, really depends on the person, really depends on the condition, really depends on a lot of factors. But there's times where I'll give people remedies and have them take it in drop doses. There's times that I work with people and I have them take 2 to 3 mils per dose. It also depends on preparation, right? If I'm giving someone a spagyric essence, they're only drop dosing that because they're so powerful. That's all you need to take. Some of the difference in the effects. So generally, oftentimes the way it's described is that a drop dose is really more of working with the vital force. So you're really working with the vital force of the plant, interacting with the vital force of the person. It's more the vital force of the person responding and shifting and changing due to the presence of the plant, of the vital force of the plant. Whereas in a high dose, and it's more gentle, right? It's more, a lot of people in the drop dose school, prefer it over high dose because they say you're not forcing the body to do something. You're not like imposing the will of the herb onto the body, if that makes sense. It's kind of like a gentle nudge. It's like the plant is gently informing the body like, hey, shift in this direction. Whereas in a high dose perspective, you are, giving larger amounts of the plant that are leading to a biochemical interaction with the body where you're getting, biologically active constituents from the plants binding to receptors in the body, leading to changes in physiological cascades and things like that. So it's like the plant acting on the body rather than the body gently responding and shifting to the presence of the plant, if that makes sense. It's a very subtle distinction, but a lot of people in the low dose school tend to see that as being very forceful, like it's too aggressive, and maybe it's not acting in accordance with the vital force. High dose people basically are like, drop doses, you're not getting enough of the bioactive constituents in the plants to actually have a medicinal effect. Like, you need this amount in order to have that medicinal effect. So the two can kind of butt heads a little bit, right? Certainly, there can be disagreements amongst herbalists here. But for me, I'm like, well, people have been drop dosing for a really long time, and people have been high dosing for a really long time. And guess what? Both get healing results. That's what matters, right? What matters is that people are getting healed. And so whether you choose to drop dose, whether you choose to high dose is a personal preference. It really depends on how kind of your philosophy and your approach to herbal medicine. It also, again, like I said, to me, depends on condition, constitution, person, herb, preparation. There's a lot of factors that go into determining how much of a remedy someone will get. And it also goes with, just working with the person. Sometimes you'll give someone a remedy in 15, 30 drops, and they're like, whoa, it was like super powerful. It's like, oh, okay, like let's maybe tone it down. Or like, say for example, you're giving someone a remedy for sleep. They're like, man, I took 10 drops of that formula and it knocked me out and I woke up groggy in the morning. It's like, oh, well, maybe try 3 drops. And they take 3 drops and they're like, perfect, like slept super well, woke up well rested, alert, awake, aware, not groggy. It's like, great. Drop dosing works for you. Maybe same formula, different person, but same condition, lack of sleep. They're like, 3 drops, that doesn't do anything. 30 drops doesn't do anything, but I take 2 mils and I sleep like a baby. So I think there's also something in just working with the person and what their needs are, is an important factor to keep in mind as well. So I'm always kind of try to be in the middle on things. I try not to take sides. Maybe it's because I'm a conflict avoidant person, but I think it's also, to me, I just look at it, I'm like, well, people have been doing both for a really long time and both get healing results. So it's not necessarily that one's right and one's wrong, or one's better or one's worse. It's just a difference in approach, different pathways that are leading to the same top of the mountain, so to speak. So that's just a little discussion there on drop dosage for you, Lael. Hopefully that answers your question.